First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com.
Devan Cornish is a property owner up on White Lake, and there is a proposed quarry that has that's actually right on the lake. Is that
on the Route 28 side of the lake?
Wow.
Yeah.
And that has some property owners very worried, very upset. Devan, good morning. What do you know? So this proposed quarry is right on the lake, then.
Good morning.
Good morning.
No, this would be across Route 28 from the lake.
That wouldn't make sense to put it. However, this is something that you would say would be worrisome.
Yes. So to give you a little background, my grandmother bought her camp on the other side of the road from White Lake approximately 40 years ago. To give those some context of where this is, anybody familiar with the Stumble Inn? Used to be a bar on Route 28.
Yep.
A very popular bar. We're 2 doors down from there. And right behind her property is an old mine that was operated in the 1920s and has not been functioning since then. There was a fight to bring the mine back in the 2000 range. And this went on for approximately 2 years, my grandmother being the lead person against it. And ultimately, the application was withdrawn. So this April, we received a letter saying that they were back in action, and that leads us to here today.
Where we are today. Obviously, nobody wants that in their backyard, right?
Right.
Well, can we talk for a second about that? What is a quarry? What is a quarry? What's the purpose of it? And then how would it affect other people?
Is this are they taking stone out of there, taking crushed stone? What are they looking for?
So they are after, in this instance, pink granite.
Oh, okay.
And our understanding, through the little bit of information that we're getting, is it will not be crushed stone. They're planning to take it out in block form. So apparently the detonation is smaller for this type of quarry. Nonetheless, it is blasting and right across from White Lake, which is one of the cleanest lakes in the park, I believe, the cleanest.
Wow.
Spring-fed lake. Definitely some concerns there as well, as well as noise.
Gotcha. I didn't realize it was blasted out. I thought it was like almost mined, like dug out. But
well, in a lot of cases, those that includes blasting. I mean, they gotta get in there somehow.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can understand the concern then. Yeah.
Yeah. So not only when that blasting does occur, even if it is less of an explosion than you would get with other types of mining, you do wonder what that shakes up and what that can cause, what can occur. In some cases, it can affect people's water supply. That would be a real problem.
Right. In our case, my grandmother's camp is built on piers. It's almost a 100-year-old camp with a well that's almost 300 foot deep. So obviously some major concerns just with our camp alone.
Yep.
And obviously we're not alone.
All right. What do you what do you suggest? Is there a meeting coming up? Is there what's the game plan here?
So immediately after receiving the notice, my grandmother had reached out to the APA, Sarah Staub, who's running this whole thing for APA, and she was notified that there would be no public hearing. So since then, we've been advised that we needed to get 100 letters into APA, DEC, town officials by Memorial Day. I'm pleased to announce as of last night, we had about 500.
Nice.
And these, for the most part, came from a 24-hour period. Thank you to Sheila Cotero, who's a neighbor of ours on the lake. She was able to stand up a website. I would urge everybody to visit that website, savewhitelake.org. Again, that's savewhitelake.org. It's very easy to go on there, fill out the petition, we'll call it. It takes about 30 seconds. And what happens with that petition, it's not what I would think of as a normal petition. It auto-generates a letter to every agency involved, approximately 20 letters for each person that signs that. I was told that the town of Forestport actually reached out hours into this and asked us to consolidate these names onto one letter because they're being overwhelmed with the amount of letters that are coming in.
Wow.
Needless to say, I don't believe we've done that.
So, can I ask you? You said there's no public hearing. Has the quarry already been authorized or, I guess, licensed? And who does that? Is it Old Forge? Is it state DEC? Who would allow for this
and
work
who
to
owns
be done?
The property?
Yeah, and who owns the property exactly?
So the property owner is Thomas.
You don't have to mention. Do we want?
It's public record. Go ahead.
Okay, so.
Sorry. And so it is not an approved application at this point. That being said, considering that it was submitted in April, it's very far along in the process, and we're being told that it's basically a done deal and very close to approval. I have spoke with the town of Forestport, so this is in the town of Forestport, not Old Forge.
Okay, Forestport. Okay,
and I was informed that Forestport signed over lead agency on this project to the DEC, though we don't get a straight answer from either DEC or APA on who's running this.
If you say it jeopardizes the lake and that it is one of the cleanest.
Well, I think if I can just say,
sure.
I don't know if he's saying it jeopardizes the lake. It's that it could. We don't know the answers to these questions. If you look at the petition, it specifically says that. How will mining impact White Lake? And I think that, Devan, am I correct in saying we don't know? It could be devastational, but we don't know.
That's absolutely correct. One of the things that we have not seen for this project is an EIS, an environmental impact statement. This by law has to be submitted with this application, and we have not seen it. That needs to be done by the DEC. So we're asking for that to be done, and then that will answer the question.
All right, Andrew.
Well, Devan, I don't know if this will make you feel better, but we did receive a statement, and I want to read that from the APA yesterday in response to the story we did based on your Facebook post. The project application is currently incomplete. Staff are working with the applicant to obtain all information required for a complete application. Once the application is determined complete, the agency will initiate its review process. This will include a coordinated review with the Department of Environmental Conservation. The agency will provide public notice when the project is deemed complete and under review. Notice will include detailed information regarding how members of the public can formally comment. The agency has 60 days from the date the project application is deemed complete to determine if a public hearing is warranted. If the agency determines there is a need for a public hearing, all details regarding that public participation will be provided.
All right.
You would think that they would do it because you're getting such a reaction. That's
well,
great
now
that
you're getting
500.
now you're getting quite a reaction there.
And just for the record, what is APA?
Adirondack Park Agency.
Okay, Adirondack Park Agency. Okay.
Okay, Devan, interesting stuff.
Really, till last week, there's been not much conversation, so it's very good to get it out there. And this definitely helps that. So thank you, guys. I appreciate your time today.
And this, as you said, this website's only been up for a short period, so the petition, the letters that are coming in to officials, this is all brand new. They're just seeing the response right now. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. It is savewhitelake.org. And Devan, thanks for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Have a good morning.
You do the same. One of the things that is, like, Andrew, how many houses do you go into and they have a granite countertop?
A ton.
I mean,
almost
it's
all
everywhere
of them
now. So you got to get that granite somewhere. So we all want it, right?
Yeah, and it's
We
not
buy
cheap.
it. It is not cheap, but and it's all natural. That's the beauty of this. It's incredible. But nobody wants it in their backyard, and that is a beautiful lake. And I can't imagine that. Well, let's just say I can't imagine mining there is good for the natural part of the natural beauty of the lake and the experience up there as well. So, is there another place you can do it? And again, we want the material, we want to be able to buy it, but we don't want it in our backyard.
We want the granite countertop in our camp on Wait Lake.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that is the thing. A lot of people who buy camps, they come from big cities, a lot of noise, a lot of traffic, and they go to the serenity of the lake and the Adirondacks
To get
and then
away
hear
from,
boom,
right.
So I guess here's part of the thing that I was struggling to understand was it just seems to me, I hear these things, but I'm not saying that this is my opinion on it, but you always hear that like DEC will break your chops, right? Like they make it hard because they're protecting all these things. And even if it's at the inconvenience of people, these agencies, some will say, will go out of their way to just protect the environment. Mm-hmm. So if this was bad for that setting and the park and all that stuff,
you would think
I would think that they wouldn't approve it.
And you would think it would they'd be struggling to get this thing done, even if there weren't neighbors and people around that were signing the petition.
Like the agency itself would be shooting them down.
But they've got over 500, heard from 500 people in the last 24 to 48 hours. So they're getting some reaction right now. Again, that is savewhitelake.org.